Alright guys, first things first, this video is only going to be up for a few hours before it goes behind the paywall here on YouTube. But you better tell your friends real quick to watch it real quick because this one is a doozy. Today we're going to be proving the fact that Frederick Jones is pretty much the adopted father of Whyt Manga. Whyt Manga and Frederick are one and the same thing at this point. Or it could be because Frederick truly does have a death grip on him. I don't know how, but we're going to prove all of that it is true. It's either Whyt ended up just being brainwashed or somehow agreeing with everything Fred says, or Fred has a hold over him, a very, very powerful hold. Whyt, if you're watching this, right, before it goes over the paywall, dude, I'm telling you, man, you're not living your own dream. You're living the dream of someone else, and that's Frederick. And just like in Berserk, you're going to be sacrificed. I'm telling you right now, bro, when Frederick don't need you no more, he's going to sacrifice you, and you're going to find yourself in oblivion, asking yourself why you're here. You're there because you're too weak to stand on your own, too weak to forge something ahead for yourself. This whole Saturday diverse trash, it was never your intention, never your idea, and we're gonna prove it today. So a friend of mine sent me this video some days ago, and this guy's talking about the problem with diverse manga. Now, we already know the problem with diverse manga, we know that. But what makes this video so interesting is because in the comment section, Whyt commented. Now, I was shocked when I first read his comment. I was like, but this is exactly what Frederick would say. Is this really Whyt Manga? If it is, Frederick got a death grip on him, right? Straight up death grip, or Whyt sees Frederick as his father for whatever reason. So let's just quickly hear one of the points, the main arguments in this video that is our main argument about diversity comics.
People to try to buy your manga because it is diverse. And I'll tell you, or to convince people to sell to people. The artists are amazing, but I think it's a really bad idea to sell to people, or to convince people to try to buy your manga because it is diverse. And I'll tell you why. Number one, the whole DEI, diversity and inclusion thing, has become such a mess. It has become this movement, this of SJWs fighting on the internet, and it has reached Hollywood, and people hate it. You look at the latest Hollywood movies that they promote a movie with the idea of DEI, and what happens is that people don't want to go to the movies. People do not want to go to the movies and watch it because they know, oh, okay, here we go again, another race swap, right? Another race swap, another stupid movie, and another movie just pushing this idea.
All right, you guys get the gist of it. So Whyt Manga responds here, rather long. And I want to tell you guys right now, you can read it for yourself. This entire thing is completely invalid. Whyt, you are a very disingenuous person. Along with Frederick, along with all you SJW virtue signaling people, you want to be seen joining the bandwagon and waving the correct flag on this particular month. You do not care about what is of substance. It's why you cannot make an actual impact. The only impact you make is how many numbers you got in social media, but in reality, nobody really wants to deal with you. Nobody wants to deal with you at all. And to the hordes of hunchbacks who are going to say, stop being jealous of his success. What success? You call this success? Always trying to run around to wave the correct flag, to be seen in a positive light so you can shame me just because you're standing with the correct flag at the moment? Give me a break. Give me a break. This is a very disingenuous comment. Now, let's read a little bit of it, right? By the way, he did not get the point of the video. And that's another thing with these hunchbacks, right? Is that they never get the point of what you're saying. I see that Whyt Manga has been fried in the head and now has the mind virus where reason and logic just cannot be understood in his brain anymore. It's just about pouring endless trash down your throat and making you accept it, even though you don't want it for legitimate reasons. So he says, of course you can hold this opinion, no problem. We started Diverse Manga in 2013. Frederick started Diverse Manga in 2013. It wasn't popular then, and at least no close. We didn't hop on the train. Yes, you did. I grew up in Nigeria, and diversity didn't bother me that much either. But now as a creator inspired by the Japanese, I'm doing exactly what they do. Create what they know and or show themselves and culture in their work. Yeah, but that's not their selling point, Whyt. They don't say, read our stuff because we're Japanese. They don't say, read our stuff because we have sushi. Read our stuff because we're a minority. They don't sell it like that. That's the main point. But again, Whyt's a hunchback now. He doesn't get it. I do both. Proud of the fact, there's some illiterate action over here. This is some hunchback language. But anyway, I do both. Proud of the fact I have some Nigerian influence stuff in Apple Black. Nigga, where's the Nigerian stuff in your stuff, bro? I ain't see no Igbo action whatsoever. But if there was, it definitely didn't fit because there are so many randomized elements that feel forced indeed. See, we want to realize that Whyt knew that by doing what he's done, it will look forced, right? Forced in. And Frederick somehow tarnished Whyt's brain and flipped it around. We're going to see the evidence of that because there's a document on it, right? It's authentic and original. Nah, bro. You see, if you're going to say something is authentic and original just because you put some jungle theories or whatever cultures in there, now that's not what makes something authentic and original. Apple Black has no impact. Whatever Nigerian stuff you did put in there, we didn't notice. That's just the truth. We did not notice because it had no impact. Sorry, that's just the reality. On the diversity topic, the shows you mentioned have some diversity, true, but not much from an ethnicity standpoint, and definitely rarely ever main characters either. Naruto didn't have black characters till years into the series. So what? You see, why do y'all want to be included so much? You suffer from identity issues, Whyt? Really? You see, this is why nobody likes niggas that much. This is insanity. Like, y'all gotta stop with this inferiority complex. You are your own individual, judged on what you produced, not on your skin color. That was how things were supposed to be. That whole, Martin Luther King speech, right? But now, these damn hunchbacks have flipped everything that, no, you're supposed to care about me and like me and read my stuff because I'm black, because I'm green, because I'm yellow. You're supposed to read my stuff or include people like me in your stuff to equalize everything. This is insanity. This is SJW mentality. This is that mind virus. This is what has tarnished Western media in its entirety. We know this. But we're focusing on Whyt Manga because we really want to know what the heck happened to this guy. But we're going to find out, right? Till years in the series, it's predominantly Japanese, and that's not an issue. The creators are Japanese, and they make work that represents them and who they are, their culture, etc. We're not Japanese, so our manga represents who we are. Does it really? You see, no, it represents the virus. It doesn't represent who you are because we don't know who Udunze Uguguo actually is. We only know what Frederick told you what to be online. We don't know you. People know who Coffee Comics is. They know what I stand for. They know what I'm against. Y'all know what I'm about. Whyt, I don't know what you're about. The only thing I know is that you take orders from a hunchback of a leader called Frederick, right? So you're not even authentically living your life. You're not living your life. You're not living your dream. This is not you. This is not you representing yourself. This is you representing an ideology of cultural Marxism. that clearly has butchered the brain of Frederick as well. So he says, we're not Japanese, so our manga represents who we are. No, it doesn't. We're where we're from and our culture. Now, that's also not true because the whole essence of Apple Black is not based in Nigeria now, is it? I think it's very silly to think that it is silly. That's just me being honest. We love Japanese content and are no demanding they change. We're just doing our own thing. We're not Japanese manga. We're just manga that has diverse characters. Hunchback language. Diverse characters, culture, ideas, and more. Should someone from Brazil who's never been to Japan make manga about Japan and then obviously be making what they don't understand? That not authentic. Yeah, I understand the point over there. However, your stuff is not, none of the people in Apple Black are authentic themselves. The problem is, if you're going to defend yourself and saying you want to be authentic, well, your products are not. Your products relies on the SJW bandwagoning and flag waving to sell. It does not rely on authenticity. And Whyt is the last person to speak about being authentic because you're not authentically expressing yourself, Whyt. You authentically expressed yourself 15 years ago before you met Frederick. And once again, we're going to see the proof of that. Obviously, by making what they don't understand not authentic, Japanese creators create what they know and represent themselves in their work. We're doing the exact same thing. No, you're not. You're representing cultural Marxism. You're representing ideologies that have nothing to do with you. To the point where you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are. All these people, these hunchbacks, celebrating nonsense and waving every flag that they tell them to. Today it's Ukraine, tomorrow it's Palestine, tomorrow's the rainbow, tomorrow it's this and that. That's not you. That you didn't think of this. And we're gonna see, I keep repeating, we're gonna see the evidence that these are not Whyt Manga's words. It's either he literally got locked in a dungeon and faced MK Ultra brainwashing by Frederick, and now he's a drone, just repeating verbatim what Frederick actually thinks. We're doing the exact same thing. Nothing silly about that to me. It's also okay if that does not appeal to you or others like you. There are many people that does appeal to. No, there isn't. Hence why we do what we do. And also none of this matters if the story sucks. Your story does suck. So good stories are paramount for our success. Nigga, you lying. Stop lying, bro. You see, that's another thing about these mind virus people. They're very good at lying, man, to themselves and to everybody else. Our success, and we focus on that as our manga volume reviews reflect. You see, we all know he paid for those reviews. You paid for it. No one gave you an authentic 1 hour review as I did, Whyt. Nobody. You paid those guys to give you those reviews. Give me a break. Either way, thanks for purchasing Annual 24 on your own and checking out our stuff regardless. We tell people to buy manga because it's good. It's just also happened to be diverse on purpose because that authenticity, and some people want that too. That's not true. You are selling a Saturday AM product solely based on it being diverse. Here's the proof. This is Frederick 3 days ago. 3 days ago, Frederick is like, right, well, meanwhile, my diverse crew will be at the Animate Relay, whatever show this weekend, yada, 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 yada. Starting 2024, we left 2023 positively leading diverse manga. See? This whole thing, man, makes me feel like that you've turned diversity into a derogatory term. And this is what the mind virus does. They take things like the rainbow and defile it. They take a country just doing its own thing like Ukraine and, well, they make it represent something that some of us don't want to be a part of anymore. And diversity now feels like it's manga or comics for disabled people. This is what it feels like. Honestly, diverse manga is, it's like, hey, I'm disabled. I'm disabled because I'm black. I'm a person of color. I'm disabled. You need to read my product. You need to buy my pink sauce. You need to do this. You need to look at me, validate me, care about me. Why? Because I'm diverse, because I'm disabled. Diverse manga is like the Special Olympics. That's what y'all got here. You don't got a story. Y'all a bunch of hunchbacks with no legs. Now, not to smack on people who don't have legs, but you get the idea. But people like Frederick are people who cut off their own legs so that they can feel celebrated, so people can actually care about them because they want to thrive in the victim juice. It's like, come on, guys, I cut off my own legs. Can you please pay attention to me now? This is your only gimmick. This is your only superpower. This is what you got. This is the only thing you got. You're trying to sell your Special Olympics manga, bro. And it ain't selling. Nobody caring. All of this hype, that's all it is, hype. Social media trash, underground. Nobody rocking with this no more. If we go back to this guy's thingy, he responded and saying, thank you for commenting. My argument was Saturday AM promotes their manga with the idea that it's diverse. I was simply trying to say that no one buys a manga because it's diverse. I mean, it's common sense. Is the story that matters. My criticism was mainly towards your marketing and promotional strategy. Give people a real reason to buy your manga over a One Piece or Dragon Ball. Why should they try it? Especially with our modern political tension, diversity happens to be a horrible selling point, plain and simple. But hey, bro, Andy Matrix TV, if you're watching this, these people with the virus in their head, they cannot comprehend what you're saying, bro. They straight up hunchbacks. Now let's go to an interview I found. I was really disturbed when I found this, and the interviewer starts asking, the company and its manga style works are grounded in diversity in its characters, creators, and stories. Why is this important to you? Now, the guy says a lot of trash here, but let's hear his worthless reasons, right? Because we know he's lying. He says, our creators are from various parts of the world, and one of those joys I have are the conversation we have in small groups. Now, that ain't true, because I got people who were in those small groups and said it was chaotic. In those small groups, yeah, I'm spilling the sauce. In those small groups, there was a division. There was a left and a right in those small groups. There were people of the flag on that side and the people of nothing but themselves on the other side, because there were often some clashes, right? So he's lying about that, where I get to learn more about their lives and their cultures. Nigga, you don't care about their cultures. I'm naturally a curious person, and while I've been privileged to travel around the world a bit, I never tire of learning more about this beautiful world and the people who inhabit it. People who love to rail against diversity always try to suggest that story matters more than diversity. And my argument is that diversity creates stories. How? But forget the how. This is all we need. This guy is dead set on his diversity garbage. Dead set. And he has ruined Whyt Manga's life. He has ruined him. I can't believe this happened, man. I can't believe something like this can happen. For 14 years, Whyt Manga has been at the seat of Frederick L. Jones's garbage. To the point where for 14 years, this guy in his enormous head truly believed that diversity creates stories. So that means without diversity, there is no story. Something as great as Berserk, it's got some diversity, sure, but for the longest time in the beginning, it didn't. And that was never the foundation anyway. But Frederick is literally saying, without diversity, there is no story. You automatically just told us that you can't tell stories. You just told us that you are creatively bankrupt. And now you've infected your creative bankruptcy to Whyt Manga and everybody who works at Saturday AM. Absolutely disgusting. After all, what is Spider-Man if not Batman if he were young and broke? Stan Lee has said in past several interviews that Marvel Comics was superheroes, but instead with heroes who were flawed like us. Some of my favorite manga go off the beaten path, like Vinland Saga, a manga about the Viking era, and surprising whatever. So let's get to the nitty-gritty right here. I've told this story before, that one of my artists, he owns you, Whyt. He owns you and he's happy. This guy's a flippin' narcissist, bro. He owns you. He's your daddy. He's your straight up father, bro. Anyway, one of my artists, Whyt Manga, is becoming one of the most popular indie manga creators in the world, and he's much younger than me. Now, did that matter? Did you have to say that? This guy always mentions how old he is. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. He wants to associate his age with this grand wisdom of Merlin or something. Ain't no wisdom in some diversity trash. Sorry, none whatsoever, right? When I first met him, I was amazed at how flawless this kid's manga art style was. He got every nuance of the manga look right and also had expert skills in character designs, backgrounds, cross-hatching, and so forth that many artists struggle with for years. I mean, to this day, when I show his work to someone new or even a comic book professional like Sanford, they marvel at how young he is and or they can't believe he isn't Japanese. On the other hand, I was surprised that as a person of color, there were hardly any characters of color in his work, Apple Black. Let's put a pause right there. Now, this proved, indeed, that Whyt, it was not you. It was not you, it was not your own thoughts, it was not your own soul that wanted to express this diversity trash. I don't know how you got convinced by this, by Frederick. I don't know how this is possible. But if anything, I suppose it's because you didn't have a foundation, a firm foundation and direction. And this is what happens to those who don't have a direction and a foundation solid in the rock. You are easily convinced of trash. And Frederick can say, we did not join this diversity movement because it was a growing political thing and it was becoming really popular. He's lying about it. Of course, that's why you did it. But 14 years ago, Whyt was a young buck. And Frederick clearly took advantage. No direction? You want to go where somebody else knows where he's going. Frederick knew where he was going. He was going to who knows where. Now he put Whyt in a dungeon and a flipping chain around his neck and he's dragging him along. Right? This is so sad. I kept thinking that someone with this level of skill could have a massive impact on representation and inspiration for all artists, but especially young artists of color who still may not know how many of us are actually regular contributors to comics. This stupid people of color thing, I hate it. So you're lumping an African American with a Mexican, with an Asian, right? Aren't Japanese people Asian? Are Japanese people white? Are they European? Are they? No, I didn't think so. So this whole language, man, it's polarizing. No one can actually come together under just the craft alone. There has to be this language that divides people. It's just so polarizing. I'm sorry, Whyt, that you got screwed over by Frederick, your new father. And I've said to you 1,000 times, you need to leave. But I suppose you've been drinking his sauce for too long. Now you don't know where to go. You're too afraid to stand on your own. Just like those who got sacrificed by Griffith. You're living vicariously through the dreams of Frederick, and he's living vicariously through your skills, using you to build himself an empire. But this empire will not stand because it's built on mud. Forget sand, it's built on mud. That's why it's going to fail. It has failed already. It cannot go any further than this. Look, I mean, this company's been around for like 14 years now. Y'all still only have 9,000 subscribers and you get less views than I do? That's insanity. You want to know why? It's because you don't have a story. It's because you don't have anything to say. You don't have anything meaningful to say. You can't teach anyone anything important about how to survive in reality with diversity. You can't do that. Just a bunch of hunchbacks screaming the same thing until somehow it alters reality. It's not going to work like that. He then says, anyway, when I asked him why he didn't have more black people in his work, he replied that he didn't want it to seem forced. Whyt, you were correct in saying this 15 years ago. You were absolutely correct. Because now you got a bunch of niggas running around in your manga and it does seem forced. You got a dude called Booker T. You put yourself in there. It's like, do these characters mean anything? Do they add any value to the story? The answer is no. But this is the problem with those who got this damn hunchback virus. You just want to be seen doing what's right. Well, it's not even right. Doing what's popular, actually. And you want to be congratulated. Right? And it's really up. It's really demoralizing. But not to me anymore. 2024, ManaA taking over. Your diverse comics, diverse manga is going down. It's going down because number one, there are no standards to Saturday AM. Clearly, the only standard is, do you have diversity? You have a bunch of black people and Indians and hunchbacks running around? Oh, okay, that means you're good. Just like that. It's disgusting. That was a real wake-up call for me. This guy is smart, talented, and educated, and yet the result... See, from this very moment, it sparked an idea in him. Look at the exclamation mark over here. That was a real wake-up call to me. This guy is smart, talented, and educated, and yet the result of what he was seeing made him question whether something different could even exist. This is when he began to conspire. Plotted, planned, strategize on how he could use you, Whyt. And he's still using you. To be clear, he's not the only artist I've seen who had this mentality. Nor is it just a black or brown thing. You have made it a black or brown thing. Yes, you have. The significance of manga and anime's impact on young people in general, and especially on young people of color, nigga, don't give me that, really started to weigh on me. Black and brown fans are some of the largest growth metrics of anime and manga, yet their aesthetic isn't featured in Japanese or even Asian comics 99% of the time. And to see us as heroes, love interests are complex, interesting characters seem unlikely, undesirable, and forced. It's still like that. You wanna make something desirable? You wanna make something interesting, something complex? Have a story. Have a message. Extrapolate from reality. For Frederick to be a 50-year-old man who clearly must not have lived very much, right? You cannot extrapolate from reality. Your only places of extrapolations is left-wing politics. That's all you got. If that's all you got, your stuff will forever be undesirable. It will forever seem forced, always. And you will deny these things as Whyt Manga tried to deny it, ignoring the point. And you have another guy here saying, personally, I think Saturday AM is holding Whyt Manga back. Because of this whole diversity statement stuff, Whyt Manga is a great artist in my opinion, and I think he will be way more successful in terms of sales if he leaves the company and goes 100% independent and rebrands himself as instead of pushing diversity and inclusiveness. He promotes the plots, the characters, and the world building, basically everything that makes you yada yada. You get the point. This This has been the essence of me critiquing Whyt as well. Man, you can't be like 33, 34 years old and still eating slop juice from Frederick, spraying you with his death sauce. You got all sorts of death sauce all over you, Whyt. This is not good. And look, if indeed, this diversity thing of Saturday AM was so wonderful, why did one of the one of the top artists, Saigami Project, leave? Why did she leave? She posted, after a long couple of months, she came back and posted this, The False Hero, and I'm gonna make a video on this. Saigami is back. And she got asked, did you leave Saturday? I just got your latest volume 2 for Saigami. And she said, thank you for supporting my books. I did leave Saturday AM. I have a video coming explaining more about this and the future of Saigami in the next few days. That should be interesting. Now, I would like to have Saigami on an interview, but yeah, I don't know if she should be willing to come on because it's me, Coffee, you know. But ultimately, we now see proof that Whyt Manga got adopted by Frederick, and Frederick now owns Whyt Manga's brain. It is the most unfortunate thing I have ever seen, really. Such talent gone to the wayside. Whyt Manga could have been Guts, but he pretty much is Gaston. You're Gaston, Whyt. You had the potential to be Guts, but you decide to be Gaston. Your brain is going to explode just like his. He then says, I cannot accept that thinking, whether it's Hollywood video games or anime and manga. Likewise, the narrative that diversity is being forced and isn't really wanted by consumers was surprisingly pervasive when we started. However, many people may not know that Saturday AM predates the Black Panther movie and was teased or launched around the times of Miles Morales, Miss Marvel. And thus we were quite aware of the desire that existed for multicultural characters. Where was this desire? So you extrapolated from a bunch of bat-ish insane people at Marvel saying we need more people of color and stuff, less stories, more niggas. And you thought, yeah, that makes perfect logical sense. There's a desire in the consumer market that proves this. Okay, yeah, Frederick dead in the brain. But I don't think he's screwed in the brain. He's gaslighting people. And those who have weak minds do become overcome by such madness. The same way Whyt Manga was overcome by it. He then says, I remember the media reporting on the outrage that the Black Captain America, a female Thor, and so on was causing. Yet years later, Disney Plus is spending hundreds of millions on those very characters. Clearly, they have a similar opinion and data as we do regarding the profitability of diverse heroes and series. This is straight up gaslighting. You must be completely narcissistic, however you pronounce that word, absolutely cognitively impaired, and a degenerate omega level liar. This guy is saying there is profits to be had in this diversity stuff, yet we have been seeing the decay with what Marvel has been dishing out with this diversity push. He straight up lied. Straight up lying. These people don't care about what's true. But if you go to his Twitter, he says, in a time of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. What truth are you telling, Frederick? He's lying about telling the truth. The only true thing here is that it is a time of deceit. And he continues to deceive many. This dude's straight up working for the devil. Whyt, I'm going to ask you for the last time. Leave this guy if you can. Can you stand on your own? Are you brave enough to stand on your own? I'm a nobody, remember? Yet everybody whom I have spoken about, right, it touched some severe buttons because y'all were living in La La Land, getting compliments from your fellow hunchback followers who didn't have a brain. But people are tired of your trash now. They are tired. Looking for something real, some soul food, something to inspire them. Having black people and Mexicans running around in your comic does not inspire anyone. Does not inspire anyone. I didn't like Dragon Ball Z because I saw Oob, and Oob ain't even black. I like Dragon Ball Z because of the story. I liked it because it showed that if you work hard enough, you can defeat your problems. But Saturday AM does not have this motto, and Apple Black does not have this motto. You all have this God complex. You think you're gods. But you're not. What God gets offended by what I say? You're clearly the weakest gods who ever existed, right? Look at me, guys. Look at this. We're doing that. Puny gods. Pathetic gods. Anyone who's still going to defend this madness, we'll see how long your stuff lasts for. Because it's going down. Saturday AM is built on mud, along with the Marvel endeavor. But here's the thing. Frederick pushing this thing, clearly he's getting paper from someone else. Because their aim is not to actually feed us, those who have a brain of our own. It's to feed and demoralize and suppress and create a peasant mindset for the young people. They want young people retarded. They want them stupid and lost. They want them without heroes. They want them without people they can look up to. Frederick is an agent of demoralization. He knows exactly what he's doing. This level of gaslighting and double-tongued speech, he knows exactly what he's doing. And he has butchered Whyt Manga's brain. But again, if Frederick had such a proper grip on the diversity thing, one of your top artists left you. She gone. She gone. Used her as a token, probably. She gone, Fred. Whyt, your father, Fred, is out of line. And you too have become out of line. And I will never stop calling y'all out. Never. Y'all have butchered the indie space, and that's why we're moving away from it. Here at Coffee Comics, we're about all things ManaA here. ManaA here, if you don't know what ManaA is, go ahead and check it out in my previous video, right? Because anyone who is in the West and calls themselves a manga artist, automatically people are going to associate you with this diverse nonsense. They're going to associate you with a trash product. But ManaA, we're all about that soul food. We're all about that nourishment for people's souls, to inspire them, to have heroic characters who stand for something. Not these unrelatable godlike characters like Apple Black and these creators with their God complex as well. I know a lot of people like Jay Odin, but man, I'm sorry, Jay, but you had potential too, man, but you dropped the ball when you joined this team. When was this even posted? 2 years ago. She gone. She gone. In fact, I think a couple of these guys are gone. This guy's gone, right? Whatever. Point is, this thing going down the drain, but they don't care. The same way Marvel doesn't care that they're not selling. The whole point is to bombard you with trash. That's all it is. And we are the counter-strike here. We are the crucible against demoralization. I don't know if Whyt or Frederick will ever be man enough to talk to me. I'm a nobody, remember, Fred? I'm a nobody. You can talk to me. You can try to put me down. You can try to put the slam on me. Try. You're more successful, right? I'm just a fly before you, right? So why don't you talk to me, bro? I don't care about the views. I'm doing this because it's right. I will not let you tarnish the brains of others as you have tarnished Whyt Manga's brain. Nah, dude. It's not going to happen here. Not on my watch. Not on my watch, bro. You want to run around and think you're gods? You're not. There's only one. And he's given me that power to put y'all in line. But anyway, this video is going to be up for free for some time. So tell your friends real quickly, guys. Stay away from people like Fred, because clearly they just want to control others. Here, we're all about think for yourself and reflect on your life. Please, please think for yourself. Please reflect on your actions. Please. That's all there is to it. Until next time.